So,
amen.
I appreciate all you guys. There's so many guys that I have on here today, and I'm so thankful that you guys agreed to join in and be a part of this conversation. So I don't even know where to get started. I guess I'll I don't want to get in trouble by going from oldest to youngest. So
where you going?
So I would just sporadically go around. Let me just start. Ives Hicks. Hey man.
What's up, man? What's happening? What's happening, y'all?
Listen, it's always good to see you. You and I, we've been conversating, man. How's it going?
All the time. It's good, man. Everything is good, man. Life is good, bro.
Good.
Life is good.
Good. It's so good to see you. Let everybody know where you're from and how long you've been playing.
Oh man. Of course, I'm Ives Hicks. I'm from West Hollywood, Florida. I've been playing now, since '82.
Wow.
Kind of telling my age. 82, 83, somewhere around there.
Okay.
So I've been around just a little bit.
Uh-huh.
And God has really blessed. I see some of we'll get into that later. I see some of my mentors, my personal mentors on here.
Yeah.
Which is really good. Which is really good to see some of these guys.
Yeah, man. It is. I'm so excited to dive into conversation with them as well. Lester Wilks, how you doing?
I'm doing good.
Hey man, how's it been going?
Been going pretty good, man.
Yeah.
Been going pretty good.
So let everybody know who you are.
Well, I'm Lester Wilks. I started playing in the 70s,
Wow.
the late 70s.
Okay.
When I started playing, wasn't nobody but Deacon Blue, Ben Wilson, Quillon Mitchell, and that's about it in Florida, unless I missed somebody. You know anybody else?
I think you got them all.
Because I don't even think Josh was born.
I was a thought, I think.
He was a thought. You know what? I don't know if Elton was playing. I think he was playing lead at that time because I went to Fort Pierce and played with him a couple of times.
Okay. So, well,
he was playing lead. He was trying to play lead, but he was playing lead.
Okay. Well, you brought up some names, man. You brought up some names. We're going to talk about it in a little bit.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about it in a little bit. Derrick Glenn.
Yes, sir.
Derrick, what's going on, man? How you doing?
Oh, man, great, man. How's it going?
Let everybody know who you are, where you from, how long you been playing, man.
Oh, man. I'm Derrick, man, Glenn, Marion. Man, I've probably been playing since the early 90s, probably late 80s.
Okay.
From Jewel Dominion, man, I fellowship with the House of God as well. So it's just an honor to be here, man.
Hey, man, we glad to have you, man. We all family.
Oh yeah, definitely.
We all family. We are all family. Brian Byrd.
Amen.
Man, listen, you came up in conversation on my drummer's post. They was like, man, what was the cat in Sarasota, Dante? They used to play with you, man. He's dope. I said, yeah, man, that's Brian. I said, he ain't no drums. No, well, he's still playing drums, but he's on steel too. But what's going on, man? How you doing?
Man, I'm trying to live my best life and trying to stay safe. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
I'm Brian Byrd from Sarasota, Florida. My mama put a drum in my hand at the age of 2, and I've been working at it ever since, and got into steel guitar as a teenager. And my influences you'll hear about, RBG, Deacon Henry Nelson, Glenn Lee, man. So yeah, we'll get into that, but it's great to be here, man. Good to see my brothers. I ain't seen some of y'all in forever, ever.
Decades, right?
Yeah,
years. Yeah, this is good. This is really good. Brian Taylor, better known as Josh. Everybody know him as Josh.
That's right.
What's going on, Josh?
Hey, man, I'm blessed, man. Super great, getting better every day, right?
Yeah, man. So tell me, man, how did you get started? How long you been playing? Let everybody, where you from?
All right, I'm Josh Taylor, from originally Miami, Florida, now living in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. And I pretty much, I'm also a 80s, 90s baby, on the steel guitar. A lot of people don't know, originally I started on drums, and from drums I gravitated to the steel guitar. And I think at the time I was the last of the Mohicans of the Dream Team.
The Dream Team, come on.
Yeah. You know, the Dream Team consisted of, Henry Nelson, of course, Glenn Lee,
Okay.
the legend himself, Lester Wilks on the line here, Aubrey Gent. You're talking about, and I did get a chance to be around with my uncle Ben Wilson.
Wow.
Was still kicking. So that was on, South Florida. That was, that was like the Dream Team that was in the forefront. But then, can't forget about Darryl Blue, was a part of that group. But a name that most people don't hear about too much is Lee Out the Pew.
Right, right.
Can't forget Lee.
And he was awesome, man.
Yes, sir.
He was awesome.
He was the chord king, as far as I know.
Yeah.
And then, of course, coming up under you, you and Ives, you guys, man, you were my, you guys were like the ones that was kind of like in the forefront, beyond me.
Yeah.
And so just learning everything that I could, man. So that y'all was my motivation,
Wow.
Absolutely.
Wow. This is good. Tommy Phillips.
Yes, sir.
What's
yes,
up,
sir.
buddy?
What's going on, man?
How you doing? I don't want to call you the baby of the group.
The rookie.
You might be the baby of the
room. Yeah, the rookie in the room. I'll take it.
What's going on, man?
Not much, man. Chilling.
Let everybody know who you are.
Tommy Phillips from Miami, by way of Quran.
How long you been playing, man?
Since 15, so about 13 years serious.
Okay.
13 years serious. Played drums up until about 13, and then I ain't really had no choice to kind of call me. Kind of picked it up and just ran with it. That's pretty much it, man.
Yeah. Wow. Well, man, I'm glad you can come on. Glad you can come aboard and
yes, sir.
And be with us.
Yeah, man. Just sit back and listen. Laugh. The rookie in the room. Just
whatever, man.
Just sit back.
Whatever. Elton Noble, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
There he is. What's going on, Doctor?
Man, it's
everybody
been something, bro.
I ain't gonna tell you who clapping. Everybody. I think that was everybody.
I just got out of a meeting, man, and I was online with that. It's been crazy with this Zoom and prayer line and stuff like that.
I can only imagine.
It's good to see all you guys. I was wondering, was I gonna see Byrd?
Yes, sir. There he is.
What's going on, preacher?
I see you, man.
Man, listen, I'm just trying to be one in the number, man. I got all the heavy hitters on here tonight. So,
right.
So let them know, Elton, where you from, what you doing, how long you been playing, how did you get started?
Well, live right here in Fort Pierce. Started in Fort Pierce. I started playing at the age of 13. Coming up under Aubrey Gent, which we need to pray for him.
We did at the very beginning, right when you logged off. Yeah, we shouted him out. Yeah.
From AJ.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but I heard everybody say they started playing with drums. I heard Lester say something about a lead guitar. We try all the instruments until we find the one, that sweet spot.
That's right.
And there's nothing like that steel, man.
Yeah.
Nothing like it.
Yeah. Well, man, I'm grateful that you're on here, and thank you for joining in on the conversation. I think Daryl's still experiencing some technical difficulties right now, so we're gonna come back to him. Joe Randall, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. I'm right here.
How you doing, man?
Man, I'm doing good. I'm doing what it takes. I'm out here still making some money, trying to keep this work going.
I hear you, man.
If I don't deliver this mail, y'all gonna be mad.
Well, be careful out there, man. We don't want you to put yourself in harm's way, man. But tell everybody, man, how long you been playing, where you, how long you been playing, where you living, all that good stuff.
Well, I'm originally from the Fort Lauderdale area, and I started playing in the Fort Lauderdale area,
Mm-hmm.
and a lot of people don't know it, but I played for the West Coast for a while with
Yeah.
well, you know Dante with
Yeah, I
Julius
do.
Shaw.
That's right.
And
I didn't know it.
Yeah, man, we all you got to do is ask Dante. But let me tell you, man, I was inspired by a lot of people to play, but the one that really helped me out was Lester Wilks. He was the one that gave me my start, and I went from there.
Yeah.
And I started playing about 1980, and I've been playing ever since. That's been about 40 years ago, kind of telling my age, but
Wow.
But yeah, it's been great, man. God has really done some things, and I've been inspired by quite a few. But one of the greatest things that I love is to see God move through what He's given me, and I'm humbled that He entrusted me with something so great, you know. So and then to be among some of the greats like what's on here now. So yeah, man, I'm honored.
Well, we're honored to have you. We're honored to have you, and I'm just so glad that all of you guys are here. And man, I can go so many different ways in starting this conversation. There's so much rich history in South Florida. I remember when the whole Sacred Steel movement came about, that there was a lot of I guess talk that a lot of the players are a lot of players are from Florida. I remember when they started documenting the Sacred Steel players, Florida was really, really heavy on the list because there's so many individuals that came out of Florida. So Lester, you mentioned some names, and Ives, you can jump in here as well, of people, and you guys probably have to unmute yourself. There's some names of people that I'm sure that we talked about already that have influenced your playing. Talk about them. Talk about how you were influenced by them, and what was it about them that got you where you were.
Well, Deacon Blue was the catalyst because I grew up in Pompano, and he was the sole steel player there. He didn't have a lead guitar, and he was a one-man band.
Wow.
He was a one-man band. I mean, he played on that steel. He would play bass on the steel. He would play lead on the steel, and he would lead on the steel.
Wow.
So he was the catalyst, and he gave me a beat-up steel, that old steel that he used to play with for a long time ago, and I had to find strings for it.
Okay. And
during that time, there was no what you call music stores.
Okay.
In Fort Lauderdale, there was no music stores.
Okay.
It was hard to find a music store. I finally found one, and you know who to ask to put the strings on, how to put the strings on. His pickups was bad, so I'm trying to find people that knew how to do it. It was a mess, man. Not like it is now.
Yeah.
It was a mess.
Yeah.
And you had to have a burning desire. You had to have a burning desire to keep on to find those different different parts that you needed to play the instrument.
Yeah.
And the first assembly I played at, he played with me. Some of y'all guys might remember this guy. His name was Patterson. Do anybody remember Patterson? He was another good steel player. His daddy played. Yeah.
Yeah.
He was another good steel player. And that's the first time I played in the assembly. I played in Pompano. I played with Patterson.
Wow.
And I said, Lord, I wish I could do it. This guy was already experienced.
Wow.
He was already doing stuff.
Yeah.
Man, I wish I could do that.
Wow.
And after assembly, I said, man, you can show me something, can you? So what I did, I mimicked a lot of people. Yeah. Joe messed with me all the time, talking about one-string steel player. But you know what? God worked with them one string. He worked with those one string. I played one string, but God worked with it.
Hey.
And I thank God for that. I thank God for that. And
Lester,
the people that I showed how to play, I had to go back to them.
Wow.
And they showed me stuff.
Wow. Wow.
See, I wasn't.
That. He went back to the ones that he showed how to
exactly.
play.
Exactly.
That's
exactly.
Hey, listen, you young musicians, don't get so hardy that you can't be taught by the ones you teaching.
Right.
That's right.
That's right.
That's good.
That is so true.
That's some good advice, man. You Lester, I don't know if you realize you were probably the first steel player that I probably witnessed even as a kid. I remember we had a full lineup of musicians in Fort Lauderdale.
Oh man. Awesome.
Yeah. And that you were like the only steel player at one point.
Right.
One given point in time. You were the only steel player. And I remember just as a drummer, I was like 6.5, 7 years old, with my Maximum by Pearl drum set in Fort Lauderdale, playing with you and Kenny and Charles, my cousin Charles Ryan.
Yeah.
And we had the trap snare drum and the boom. You know, that was before Brother Lee came with the set.
Right.
we
had to work with him, but
say that again.
We had to work with Brother Lee, man. He'll start shouting to leave us away, man.
And listen. This is the fun part. It's drummers like me that was standing to the side waiting for those moments to happen, so I could get on.
Right.
That was an excitement for us.
We had to make a schedule. It was so many musicians at Fort Lauderdale.
Yep.
But with no steel player.
You were the only one.
Yeah.
You were the only one. Ives, I know you know a lot of history, you know, as it relates. The cool thing about me and you, man, we at one point in our era, and I say in our generation, our era, we were probably the only two Pedalsteel players down south that were just kind of like, you know, taking advantage of you know, where we were in that moment. You know, we didn't play. I remember starting off with an 8-string or a 6-string, but we quickly gravitated to that Pedalsteel.
Yep. And see, with me, I started, of course, you know, I started out on the 6-string. I think within a year, for that Christmas month, I never forget, my dad bought me a Maverick, a Showbud Maverick, a brown Maverick, and I think that was like 1984.
Yeah.
1984. But I'm gonna tell you this, I really had no desire to play steel guitar.
Wow. Until
I heard Glenn Lee play. And I could never forget. My dad, we had a blue Pontiac. And we was going home because they had the state assembly at West Hollywood Church. And they fought to get Glenn to play. You know, there's this kid down south. And when Glenn played that night, I remember sitting in the back seat of my dad's car saying, "Daddy, man, he made that steel guitar sound like a lead guitar." we were used to the more of the Henry Nelson style.
Right.
You know, Glenn came in and, you know, he started changing it up a little bit.
Yeah.
I had no desire, but I'm going to tell you this, and Lester will witness to this. He's a witness to this. Every time I see Lester, I always say, "You gave me my first lesson."
Wow.
And I always honor Lester because, you know, in our era in West Hollywood, we were sandwiched in between Fort Lauderdale and Miami. So my influences was, you know, I would hear, you know, Reverend Ben Wilson play. And then y'all forgot about Reverend Charles Price.
Right.
That's right.
Reverend Charles Price. Then you had Reverend Ben Wilson.
Yeah.
And then Lester. And then, you know, those are my first exposure to actually hearing steel guitar.
Yeah.
But it was like when I heard a change, just a little change of the Pedalsteel style. That's really what excited me.
Yeah.
And I mean, and it's so, you know, Florida is so rich in history when it comes to our steel guitar, until, you know, we had so many different styles, because as a kid, especially when it came to our state assembly, when you had Bishop Nelson.
Right.
So when it came to the state assembly down here, the majority of the person that we heard was Henry.
Right.
You know, and it wasn't until I kind of heard a different style that really kind of made me take interest, because I was playing bass. Yeah, actually before I went from drums to bass.
Right.
And until, you know, when I jumped on the pedal steel. But man, you know, it's Dante, you know, we've talked.
Mm-hmm.
We got like so many stories. Even back in, was it like the 90, 91? Man, I used to come to your house and share, just me and you.
All the time.
You know what I'm saying? So, you know, so that's the connection that we had. You know, we was gleaming from each other in this era, because we was that bridge between Lester them,
right,
and then Glenn them, Lester and Joe and all those other guys. We was that bridge before, you know, you got to Josh and the other guys.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, but we've been around some great guys, man. I'm talking about some great guys.
We were really privy. We were really privy, and you had it really good, Ives, because I didn't get a chance to spend as much time with Glenn like you did.
Yeah.
I mean.
Oh yeah. But let me tell you this story, because I know we got so many guys that want to have things to say.
Yeah.
But let me tell you this. I remember as a little kid, me and Glenn had such a connection. Glenn would drive all the way to West Hollywood.
Wow.
To pick me up, take me back to Perrine for the whole weekend, and on Sunday night after church would bring me back to West Hollywood.
Wow.
And we would be up all night.
Yeah.
All night. Even when he would go to sleep.
Wow.
I would be up playing his guitar. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, that was the connection. And I know you got Roosevelt. I told you I was gonna say this. I was one of the first original Lee boys.
Yes, you were.
So I know.
Yes, sir.
I know Lil Mel on here and Roosevelt, but I was a part of the original Lee boys. And I know we talked about this earlier. I think if it wasn't for Glenn and them vouching for me, I don't know if I would have ever gotten a chance.
Yeah.
You all talked about that the other night. You know, with the guitar players and drummers, somebody vouching for you and give you that word. But man, I'm telling you something. You know, but it's just Lester's style. Lester on the sixth string, he brought such a sweetness to just that style of his long tones. Lester would hold those tones, and then once he went to pick, he would look like he was framing, but he wasn't doing that. So then he'll hit you, he'll block that note. I think he was beating the strings more than
Yes, sir. Lester had a way.
Hey, if y'all want to hear some stories, let Joe tell you. Joe will tell you some stories.
Oh, sure. But Lester got away when he get excited. It's like you think he talking to the guitar, because his mouth started moving too.
Oh yeah.
Lester just goes into it, man. I love it. I love it. I love it. Elton, I want to bring you in the conversation, man. You've been playing for quite a while, and I'm sure your style was influenced by I hear a lot of Nelson, I hear a lot of Gent in your playing. Go ahead and unmute yourself if you can, or if you see let me. Can you see it there? I'm asking you. There you go. There you go. So tell me about those early influences, man, with you coming up.
Well, living here in Fort Pierce, the major musician was Aubrey Gent, and quite naturally Nelson. So so those are the styles that I love. And I was with Aubrey we were playing one day, and he said that I was radical. I don't know what that meant, but my style was, I wanted to bring a different flavor are just a little bit different. You can't help it anyway. Once you start liking once you start feeling what you play, something different is going to come out. And Aubrey was the man. He was the man. You know. Yeah, he was the man, because he was real quick.
Yes.
And the thing that I liked about Aubrey's playing was that I wanted to have myself, was that if you could sit down and play your instrument and a woman start crying or a man start crying, you know, you playing. You playing now, you know, that the instrument has changed the atmosphere.
Mm-hmm.
I remember playing in Lake City, Florida at a funeral. I think it was a funeral. And the woman on the front row, man, once you start moaning, you know, with that bass string, man, and then you do a little cry, you know, man, that woman fell out.
Yeah, man.
And the only thing, you know, to my knowledge, is that steel, man.
Yeah.
You know, I know that my style is different from a lot of guys, or it may sound the same, or it may sound mundane, but
it's you.
It's
you.
Yeah.
That's the key. It's you.
It's you.
And nobody can play you.
Well, I got a guy who really trying, bro.
Okay.
I got a guy who really trying, Dominique Collins.
Okay.
Yeah, but you know, playing the steel, man. If you don't get a feeling from playing, you doing something else.
Yeah.
You have to feel what you're playing. If you don't feel what you're playing, you doing something else.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good. So you have to. You got to feel what you're playing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because if you don't feel it, how can somebody else? And what are we doing? You know.
I mean, you know, I watch a lot of you guys play. I've been watching Tommy. I've been watching Byrd. Yeah, I've been watching you cats, man, showing out. But I think that we ought to give major kudos to the church that we were reared in.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for the church that we were reared in and playing this sacred sound, you know, we have a sacred sound. Anytime you see, when I see a guy playing steel in, you know, way off in left field, I say, yeah, I know where it come from.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he has been bitten by the bug. You know, there's no other refreshing feeling I know of, bruh, to be able to come home and sit behind your guitar.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You hear me? You feel me, Byrd? You know.
Go ahead. You can tell Byrd. Go ahead.
Yeah. You feel me, Byrd? And you know, Tommy, man, I watch how he slide across them tight strings. Like, yeah, you know, and all of you guys have different styles that each of us take from.
Yeah.
You know, we the best thieves in the church. You
know? I like how you just put that. That was so smooth.
He's right.
We're the best.
Right.
Oh, I like that.
He's right.
We are the best thieves in the church.
Thieves.
All right.
He's stealing all the time.
So I can't call nobody a mosquito anymore. They just a straight thief.
Don't let Josh borrow your tapes.
Don't let Joe.
Joe on now.
Let me get that up off you, though.
Don't tell on him like that. Come on.
Man, every church service, this man had a tape player in his hand, man.
You talking about Josh?
Every service, man. He has a tape player.
Hey, and if he don't play, he's highly upset.
Oh, Lord.
Highly upset. He want to fight somebody, man. I seen it. I said, Josh, man, come on.
Lester, don't kill it all.
highly upset.
Wait a minute.
Lester,
Now, that's a man with passion.
Hey, Josh, speak for yourself, Josh.
Right, Lester, Elton say, don't tell it all. Don't tell it
Josh
all.
know I'm telling the truth.
I know nothing of the sort.
Go ahead, Josh. Defend yourself, man.
Hey, listen, man, I was in the background, my brother. Hey, I was the cat that would slide the tape recorder up underneath the bench, you know, just to make sure I got close to the musicians, and I step back. I just leave a recorder right there, so I make sure I got everything.
Wow.
And you know, hey, listen, man, recording was the thing, man. That's how
we learned.
Come up, man. You know, because you know the legends or the dream team, you know, sometimes they didn't have time for people, you know, because they was out there, you know. So you had to get it where you know, wherever you could, man.
And tapes were golden.
It was what? Yeah. Hey, you better know it. Hey, you had to know how to do patchwork real quick.
Right.
Real quick.
Sir. Or you had to have a patch man.
Oh, right. Right. You gotta have a go-to guy for real.
For real.
Yep. Hey man, you got some tape, you got a screwdriver, man, real quick.
Gotta do some surgery.
I'm trying to tell you, man.
I've went through many a tapes, popping tapes, because the way we learned, because we didn't have this digital stuff that we have now. We didn't have the YouTubes. We didn't have a lot of the digital media. We didn't have MP3s where you can just swipe and go back. We had to stop, rewind, or we had a good tape recorder. We can hold that rewind button and it'll go back for that one part that we want to get. And we just kept listening over and over till we learned it. But yeah.
Hey, Dante, I think Josh has that tape of your dad and Chucky them at the State Assembly in
I'm pretty sure he does.
That may be true.
I'm pretty sure he does.
That may be true.
Yeah, I think
if
Josh
he
got
don't
that
have
tape.
it, Darryl Blue got it.
Hey, that's a hot.
I think that was one of Chucky's best performances in Pompano. That assembly.
1987.
He messed up the church, man.
It was 87.
God was working with him that Sunday.
1987, I'll never forget. It
Oh
was
my
Chuck
goodness.
on Phil on guitar, my dad, Ed Harmon on bass, Glenn was on keys, and Derrick Campbell on drums.
Woo!
That was his best performance I ever seen him play.
That was that lineup. It was just, I mean, you everybody probably took something from that service to last us up until this very moment.
Yeah.
Hey, Dante, that song, Mercy Lord. Mercy.
Yes.
They played that for like 25 minutes.
20 minutes, yes, straight. Straight.
Yeah, I got the proof on that one.
And Derrick, why you laughing? They took the hook. Chuck was listening to some Jewel with Glenn, and they took a hook from somebody that was playing on a Jewel Dominion service, and they were doing something that they were doing in that particular song that Ives was talking about, and they looped it for 20 to 25 minutes.
Wow.
I got a question.
Wow.
I got a question.
Yes, sir.
Do we get that opportunity to play like that, like we used to play back in the day?
No,
sir.
No. They cutting you off,
sir.
man.
No,
they
sir.
cutting you off.
It's different.
No, sir.
Man, we used to run like that for 25 minutes, number of music.
You gotta have time for you.
And a lot of shouting, and stuff. Those are the services I miss, man. Like real hot spiritual revivals where you have to play, where you playing so much that your collar has gotten wet.
I know.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
I know.
And you wonder when they're gonna sit down because you've been playing just that long.
Yeah.
We don't get that no more.
And listen, as a drummer, you know I can talk. We sweat. I mean, if you didn't sweat out your clothes, you didn't play.
Man.
But you know what? Y'all guys had to be in good shape. Y'all guys had to be in good shape. Y'all using your whole body, man.
We did. Come on, Brian. What you was about to say?
We wasn't mic'd, bro. There was no mics on the drum.
No.
You was playing in front, man. Listen, Glenn would pull that amp so hard, bro. Oh my God, man. but you had to play.
Yes.
What you gonna do? You had to hit that kick drum, man. I remember Cecil came to say, see, I got beef with all y'all. You know why? Because I wasn't supposed to all that.
Talk about it, Doc.
Bro, I had to wait until people came into town. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Bro, I had to wait for Glenn to come to town. I had to wait for Aubrey to come to town. I had to wait for Deacon Nelson to come to town. Man.
Yep.
I had to wait for Ted Byrd to come to town. You know what I'm saying? So I wouldn't expose this. Bruh, I never forget. Cecil came to Sarasota.
Tell a story, Reverend.
And the Leader Boys was playing. Well, the service started out with Denard. Denard was on steel.
I remember.
And yeah. So yeah.
West Coast.
So
yes.
Glenn got on Nard steel.
Mm-hmm.
Alvin was on that bass. Cecil was on that doggone set. And I forget who was playing lead. It might have been Kenny.
I think it was
But
Kenny.
man, by the time Cecil was done with my little drum set, bro, we had that white pearl. Cecil, bro, he snapped the pedal in half. And I'm sitting straight pocket. And he snapped that bass pedal right in half. And I'm sitting there looking like, bro, who gonna feel that?
I don't think y'all really understand what he's saying. Like he literally, it was a pearl pedal, right?
It was a pearl pedal.
So Pearl had those silver looking pedals, and he literally
snapped it
in half.
And
he was going at it.
Bro,
what they call the foot.
Yes.
That's why we call it the foot.
The foot.
Yeah, man. And I was a legit, so there's nothing I can say.
Right.
Okay.
Hey, was you holding your hand out the church?
I'm sitting here thinking, bro, you going back down the parade. I gotta put this thing back together, man.
Right.
We got Wednesday.
I'd have been holding my hand out, man.
Because that was on a Saturday, wasn't it?
Bro, it was on a weekend. I think it was like youth night or something like that.
Right.
Things just wasn't vibing. But man, once Glenn Lee got on that doggone guitar, bro, oh my God.
Yeah.
Man, tore the whole church up, man.
But Dante, tell me this. Who could hold it down harder than Daryl Blue?
Listen.
When Daryl was on, see, the young cats don't know about Daryl on set.
They don't.
Man, Daryl would play, Daryl would, he would, that when he had that Jerry curl.
Yes.
He'd take one hand and he chop and then he scratch his back, he wipe his head, you know what I'm saying? Man, Daryl was a cold
blooded drummer.
I'm talking about timing, because you know, he didn't do that single, you know what I'm saying, that single stroke.
He had that double stroke.
That double all the way.
Yeah.
Non-stop. And Daryl timing was impeccable.
It was. Man. So whenever Henry Nelson would play,
yep, that's what he had to play
Daryl was his drummer. I don't know if y'all knew that. Daryl Blue was the go-to for Henry Nelson whenever he played.
Josh, can you imagine what our state assemblies was like? Daryl on set, Henry on drums, Bishop Larry Taylor on lead, and Harold Brady on bass.
Come on, man. Y'all trying to hurt somebody. Y'all trying to hurt somebody.
Bishop Larry Taylor with the strap on.
Right.
Yeah.
The big body.
The big body. Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, I'm telling you. See, those are the service that Elton Noble was talking about.
Yeah.
Hot service, hot spiritual service. Man.
Where when it took off, it just took off.
With no
Doc, but you know, you got this facade now. You know, you got cats. You know, we know you play good. We know you play well. But it's not about you.
Right.
You know what I mean? We got to play, you know, one band, one sound.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You got, it's a different little wave going on right now. You know, we're missing a lot of the spiritual musicians.
Mm.
I hope nobody get mad with me.
Oh, you dead on, man. You dead on.
You gotta play in the spirit, man. You play in the spirit, and we see, you know, we'll be able to see those services come back. You know, where all of the people are shouting and giving God praise under such wonderful music. And I say again, we have sacred music. You know, if you would if you all would just play some of the old songs that you heard growing up, you know, it'll set that atmosphere on fire.
Yeah, this is so true. So I want to bring Josh in this, and Tommy, and then of course I want to bring Joe as well. Josh, you come from a lineage of great musicians and preachers in your family. Tommy, your father's a pastor. I'm sure you guys hear it all the time, what Elton was just talking about. What do you say to your peers? What do you say to those musicians, or to the ones that he was just describing and what he was just talking about?
Well, Elton said it plain, man. When you realize it's not about you, but it's about ministry.
Yeah.
It makes a difference. It makes a difference in your attitude. It makes a difference in the way you even approach the services. You know, I've seen times where musicians, we've gotten together, and they say, "Hey, man, we finna tear the house down. You know, man, we gonna do this, we gonna do that." You know, and when they don't see people shouting, they don't see people, cutting up, then they look and say, "Well, we ain't doing nothing." And when you're able to read, when you're in the spirit, sometimes the spirit come in as like waves, and being able to learn how to read a service, being able to know when to go, when to stop, when to, just kind of simmer,
Right.
And those things, to me, I've seen Glenn in action, several times, seen Aubrey Gent, several times. I mean, just, know how to, sometimes you can have a bad devotional leader. I'm just putting it out there. You can have a terrible devotional leader, just bad. And, a spirit-filled musician can take that bad note and just turn that thing around. Sometimes you have a devotional leader, they singing in between the note, like in between the, the congregation singing one note, but it takes a keen, spiritual musician that can bring that thing together.
Right.
And before you know it, man, the church just, they're on fire,
Yeah.
Or sometimes it can be within the band. You can have a lazy foot drummer.
Okay.
You looking for a certain, break or whatever, and the drummer, he's in La La Land, or your lead player is trying to play lead instead of rhythm. But it takes a seasoned and spiritual steel player, again, that's able to bring that back in and make that thing come together. So it takes a lot of, it's a lot that goes into playing the steel guitar, especially in our church.
Yeah.
In our organization. It ain't just you just getting up there and playing. No,
time to go to work.
It's work.
Yeah.
It's work.
Yeah. So Joe Randall, you want to chime in, and then I'll go to Tommy?
Yeah, I'm here.
Go ahead, man.
I'm listening to everything, and I like what I hear.
Yeah.
And I agree with Elton and Josh. We have to know the difference between being submissive to the spirit and being on stage for entertainment. A lot of times musicians now, because you learn and you practice your notes, that's important to study your craft, but it's very important that you listen and follow the spirit, because if you go without it, you're just going to be out there doing your thing.
Yeah.
And one thing that I've learned, the gift will make you move without the spirit, but having his anointing will destroy the yokes. That's the difference. So when you get in that setting, man, you got to understand that it's not about you. You have to pull together, and your mindset has to be on with one accord with the Spirit of God in order for him to give you what to play, because your music speaks to the soul of a man.
Yeah.
When the song stop and the music is still going and everybody's going on, God is speaking to the soul of a man, and that's what brings deliverance. That's what brings healing. And you don't want to just be there entertaining and everybody like your notes that you're playing, because when that's over with, where is God?
Wow.
You got to be in a place where you have to listen to him so he can speak through music. Music is the voice of God.
Wow. This is good. This is
music.
Good.
Music is the voice of angels, man. And if he's not speaking, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Can I just add this in there real quick?
Mm-hmm.
And y'all don't laugh at me, right? But when I was coming up, when I guess started playing in, regular services good enough, well, it was a point in time, and I never thought to myself as being arrogant or anything like that. But I was young, and I was learning.
Right.
And my dad made sure that I was learning. We the most important part of our services have always been the hymn, right? So my dad had a certain way that he wanted to play a charge to keep our half. And I was hearing it one way and he wanted me to play it his way, and you know how the older folk, man, like even Deacon Blue, if you wasn't doing it, he was gonna let you know.
Yeah.
You need to come on, son, And so and that was, my dad was the same way. He loved music to be played right. And I mean, if it wasn't right, he was gonna let you know.
Yeah.
And I was at the point where I was like, well, I'm gonna play it my way. I don't like the way you playing it. I mean, you trying to go with it. And my dad looked at me while he was, doing the devotion, and he actually told me, he say, get up and go sit in in the pew. And I'm saying to myself, really? I mean, he did this in front of everybody. I was like, really? I said, okay. And in myself, I'm saying to myself, yeah, see, they ain't finna have no church now. Ain't nothing finna happen. And I went and sat down, and before I knew it, man, they had then went down for prayer, and after prayer, they had then jumped off with a song, no music, just hand clapping. It was a half drummer on the drums. you had the tambourines going, and I'm saying to myself, see, ain't nothing finna happen. And man, when I tell you, the Spirit came up in there and just people just jumped, shouting all over the place. And I'm saying to myself, they need to stop playing. They know they ain't. Wow. I'm saying to myself, they know they faking.
Mm-hmm. Is that arrogant?
But look, Josh. That's telling us right there. That was arrogant right there, man.
I said that.
I'm just saying.
All right, y'all leave Josh alone now.
That was a good transparent moment. I appreciate you sharing that, Josh. Because there are a lot of musicians out there that probably have done exactly what you did.
Listen.
Probably got mad and got in their car and left.
Yep.
And probably had something to say to the preacher before he got home. Probably cussed him out.
Oh my goodness.
Listen, man. But I'm saying to myself, after looking at that, man, I said to myself, wow, like these people really got the Holy Ghost. They around here cutting up, and there's no music. So that was a humbling experience for me.
Yeah.
And I said to myself, every time I play, I wanted to play in the Spirit. I wanted, I didn't want it to be just me, and that's just one of my humble beginnings.
So let me quickly go to Tommy. I know you haven't said too much, but Tommy, have you ever experienced anything like that?
Not as bad. Like a lot of experiences, like either I was too young or I kind of just missed it.
Right.
I just missed that golden era. You get what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But for me, just me personally, a lot of my homing to myself has been home. I had to play drums Wednesday. I had to play drums Friday. There was no just coming to church Sunday and playing. You get what I'm saying? My cousin Tank and my cousin Phillips stayed on me. Like, there was no just being mediocre, you know. My cousin Tank invested in me a lot to start going around, start looking at what's happening, start research, see what's happening at certain points.
Wow.
So that situation, or you know what to look for. Somebody tearing, there's no need to be in la la land, you know. So a lot of stuff I kind of missed as far as like what was going on with older generation, but I knew what to look for. You get what I'm saying? So I kind of came in like, okay, my age group, I'm not gonna lie, a lot of us didn't have what y'all had. You get what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So by the time we didn't have nobody to sit down and do this, don't do that, do this, don't do that, study this, but don't do that, do this. So I kind of got lucky that we got in a situation where my dad got transferred to Byrd as the pastor. So I come in and I'm like, okay, it's about 1,800 musicians here. I'm just gonna get in where I fit in. You get what I'm saying? So situations happen for a reason for me to learn. So, you know, Josh say he the last Mohican, but I'm kind of like that last Mohican that just walked in the door, just barely. You get what I'm saying? Just, you know, but my whole thing was just, man, just learning what's going on in the moment. You get what I'm saying? Not getting caught up in myself, you know. And my peers, you know, some peers think, you know, it's me. I'm finna go in there. But I tell somebody quick, like, let me get the person who you don't want to play with. Or let me get the person who gonna come in humble. Let me get that person who's not trying to worry about, you know, I got all the chords. Let me get that person. Because that person already got my mentality. Let's go in, let's follow the service, let's do what we got to do, stay in our own little lane, and the rest will take care of itself. So, man, that's pretty much it, man.
Hey, Dante, can I say this?
Go ahead.
I just want to piggyback on what Lamel was saying and what Josh was saying, and I want if there's any other musicians that's listening to this, and I want to give you a illustration on how this thing worked. If you look back in your Bible and see how Satan was doing things, Satan was created. Lucifer was created to play music, do songs, all these things in heaven, and his apparel was nothing but jewelry from head to toe. Anytime he entered in, he was noticed. Musicians are noticed in the Bible, and they're noticed now. And anytime Lucifer played music, everything in heaven went to whatever he did. That's what they did. Whatever he played, they jumped to it. And because of what he saw the other angels doing, he felt like, wow, look at what I'm doing. And a lot of times musicians feel like if I don't play, it ain't gonna jump.
Wow.
And I used to say this thing, I don't care if you got 12, 14, 16 strings on your guitar, you can play every last one of them and sound good, but if God don't come in, he'll wait until the one that can play only one or two strings get on there and tear the whole church up, because he has a humble spirit. When Lucifer got to that part where he felt like, I'm going to take over heaven, I can do this, that built up in him because of what he saw. So you should never let that build up in your head that it's all about me, me, me. That's when you're ready for a downfall. Yeah. Right. That's why God had to show Josh at that time, it's not about you, bro. I can come in at any given time. Right. And then he learned a lesson from that. It's not all about us. We're vessels, and we are bishops that are ready to be used by God in our own area.
But Joe, you have family members who pushing up young kids now. My son should be playing. I don't know why they have my son playing. And it's not just the young man anymore. You have instigators, family members, you know, lobby for their kids to be playing at certain church events, you know. Right. So, you know, the game has changed a lot. Listening to Tommy, I remember, Dante, when it was just a steel player and a bass drum.
Yeah.
That's right.
Now,
right.
you know, and a lot of cats couldn't play like that.
Yeah.
That's right.
A lot of cats couldn't play with just the snare and just deal.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I think that good musicians can play a service. Can you play a service by yourself?
By yourself.
There you go.
Yep.
There
Can
you
you
go.
do it by yourself?
Yeah.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
I played one year in Nashville, one morning service. And it was just me and your brother, Ed.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And the other musicians, I mean, that's a feeling, bro.
Yeah.
But, you know, when we see this panel of musicians, we have so much experience online right now. It would be a beautiful thing to be in one building with you guys, so I could learn some stuff from Tommy. I could learn some stuff from Byrd. Steal some more stuff from Dante.
That's right. I forgot. We're into thievery.
That's what we play the steel. That's what we play. We play steel.
Right. Come on.
We play the steel.
We play the steel.
That's funny.
But you know what, Dante? Can I add something?
Yes, sir.
Along with what they were all saying, my experiences was I always feel great leadership can help make a great musician.
Yeah.
And I was privy for over 20 years to play up under Bishop Larry Taylor. So when I played with Bishop Taylor and his sons, that made it easy for me to play with Josh. Reason being, because Elder Jerry was going to be just as hard on Josh and everybody else as Bishop was with us. So that kind of made you hone in your skills, not only just to be a great skillful musician, but you had to be spiritual.
Right.
Because you had to know exactly when they were being led by the Spirit, you could not go a different direction. And they would let you know it. And they would say, hey, come on, son, like Deacon Blue. So, you know, I would say that, you know, being up under great leadership and playing also helped me to be more spiritual. I guess with me, I would show how happy I was, because, you know, y'all know me. I would get up and shout in a minute. I didn't care nothing, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, some guys, you know, they just cool and calm, calm and collect.
Yeah.
But I think that just really being spiritual. And I look at a lot of the guys that's playing now. I look at a lot of our leaders. A lot of our leaders started out as musicians.
Yeah.
They started out as musicians, then became preachers, and now are pastors and bishops.
Right.
So along with what Elton was saying is being spiritual, because you are a Levite, you're a leader, you're part of that priesthood.
Yeah.
And I really believe that. And I had a humbling experience too. It take about 30 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
You remember they did the rededication of Delray?
Yes.
I had just got my red MSA.
I remember.
And boy, I said, boy, I'm gonna kill him. I'm gonna kill him. Do you not know? In the first, because I was playing with Kenny Ellis, I forgot Kenny Ellis and Lorenzo.
Okay.
The first song, nobody had to humble me. God humbled me himself. I got up there and forgot my bar.
Wow.
So I'm used to using that Stevenson. I'm used to using that Stevenson Short Pierce bar, and Ben Wilson had that big old fat Showbud bar.
Yeah.
I had to borrow his bar to play. And watch this. Doing the first song, I popped 2 strings.
Oh, wow.
And man, hey, I was changing
Save
strings.
him, Lord, save him.
I was changing. Watch this. I was changing strings, doing the hymn. Boy, when prayer camp came, I went down on my knees. I was like, Lord, if you don't save this, it ain't gonna be saved.
That's right.
God came in and blessed. That was my humbling experience, because God showed me, okay, if it's gonna be about you, then I'm gonna let it be about you.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I from that experience, I've learned to be really my spiritual approach.
Yeah.
And that was the first thing. My spiritual approach was actually more than my technical approach.
Yeah.